You've heard it a million times, right? Data is the new oil. But let's be honest, doesn't it feel like we're the ones giving our data away for free? Well, what if we could flip that whole script? Today, we're digging into a really fascinating new model called the royalty economy.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. What if every single piece of data you shared, every interaction that helped train an AI model, actually paid you back? And I'm not talking about a one-time fee. I mean a continuous stream of royalties. That's the huge revolutionary idea we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so this slide right here, it just nails the massive shift we're talking about. Over on the left, you've got the old way, our current reality. Your data is simply used. But now, look at the right, the code-data way. Your data is owned, measured, and rewarded. And this isn't just playing with words. This is the fundamental difference between you being the product and you being a genuine stakeholder in the digital world.
So, the big question is, how does this actually happen? How do we go from being used to being owners? Well, it's all powered by this thing called the royalty economy. You can think of it as the engine, the whole system that's designed to turn every single data contribution into something with real, tangible value.
And this, right here, this is the part that gets really exciting. In this kind of system, you're not just some passive provider, feeding data into a black box. You literally become a co-owner. You get to hold a real piece of the asset that you helped create. I mean, that changes the whole game, doesn't it?
Okay, so how do you actually become a co-owner? It's a pretty straightforward three-step process. First, obviously, you contribute your data. Then, step 2, that data gets verified by other people in the network, to make sure it's good quality. And then, boom, step 3. Just by doing that, contributing and verifying, you start earning fractional ownership. It's a direct line from your participation to getting actual equity. And this quote, man, it just sums up the whole philosophy perfectly, doesn't it? Turning collaboration into capital. The idea is that every little contribution, every verification, it all builds up into this incredibly valuable asset. And because you're a co-owner, you get a slice of the capital that you helped build. All right, so you've got ownership. That's awesome. But how does that piece of ownership turn into actual cash in your pocket? Well, that's the next piece of this whole puzzle. We need a system that can track every single time that data is used and then automate the payments. It's all about making sure every contribution gets counted and paid for. And the way they do that is with some seriously meticulous tracking. I mean, look at this. Every single time the data is used to train an AI model or fine-tune it, or even just for a single inference call, asking it a question, it's all recorded. It's logged. This creates this perfect, unbreakable chain of attribution. It basically guarantees that no one can benefit from the data without it being tracked and accounted for. No freebies. It's really that simple. Every token, every call, it all counts. There's no gray area here. The value is measured with total precision, so nothing gets lost along the way.
So, all that super precise measurement then feeds directly into automatic payouts. The system uses what are called smart contracts, and the easiest way to think about them is like digital vending machines. You put the rules in, and then they just work. They automatically split up the rewards in real time. This makes the whole payment process totally transparent, completely rule-based, and best of all, unstoppable. There's no central company acting as a gatekeeper for the money.
Okay, so where is all this money flowing? This chart breaks it down really nicely. You can see how the value gets split up between everyone who makes this thing work. A piece goes to the contributors, that's the people providing the data. Then you have the validators who check it, the backers who might fund specific projects, and there's even a slice that goes to a protocol treasury to help the whole ecosystem grow. It's a genuinely shared economy, which is pretty cool. Now, look, a system like this is only as good as its users, right? It wouldn't work if it wasn't practical and useful for the people who actually build with AI, the developers. So the other side of this coin is making sure they have the freedom and the flexibility they need to do their thing and innovate. And this is where it gets really smart for the AI builders. It's not a one-size-fits-all deal. They've got these flexible payment models. You can do a simple pay-as-you-train for on-demand stuff. Or, and this is great for startups, there's train now, pay later, so you can defer costs. And there's even a pay-on-results model, where you only pay based on how well your AI actually performs. It's all about giving builders options that fit their workflow. And what happens when you have that kind of flexibility? You create this amazing virtuous cycle. The builders get to innovate freely, without these huge upfront costs for data. Their innovation creates value, right? That value generates royalties. And then, those royalties flow right back to the contributors, paying them fairly, and giving them a reason to provide even more high-quality data. The whole thing just fuels itself.
So when you put it all together, what is the royalty economy? It's not just a cool feature or an app. It's the literal backbone for a whole new kind of data economy. One that's actually built from the ground up to be fair, to be programmable, and to be transparent.
And that really leaves us with a pretty massive question, doesn't it? We've just walked through a model that turns data contributors into owners, that tracks everything, that automates fair pay for everyone involved. Could this be the thing that finally redefines the value of data, the value of our digital lives? It's a radical thought, but it's a future that is definitely worth keeping an eye on.